Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of The Ray Bunch. It is going to be a great show because we have Mark Timberlake on today. We're going to be talking about communities and tribes. Are they interchangeable? Does one give birth to the other? And why do we care anyway?
Thanks for the introduction. Mark Timberlake. I run a marketing company called SME Heroes. Been on Google Plus for a long time and been kicking around. And I've got a community that I launched in Boxing Day in December. And it's up to 700 members now already, so that's pretty good.
That's excellent. Congratulations. Mark enables collaborative marketing efforts and help each other learn what marketing works and what doesn't. And that word collaborative, I think, is essential here in the community. It's the idea of people doing things together. As Mark knows, it takes a lot of time. Mark, can I ask you, when did you decide and why did you decide to start your community?
I went on Google Plus and I could not believe there was not a Udemy community on there. And that was it. Once I saw the opportunity, I set the community up.
For those who don't know what Udemy is, could you explain it?
Udemy is a third-party platform where anybody could submit training courses which can go into the marketplace and be sold either by yourself or in partnership with Udemy. And at the moment, they've got over 8 million enrolled students on the site, so it's a massive marketplace.
And one of the shows we did recently was finding your niche.
I think it's absolutely essential. Now, what you're doing in that community, how you're helping people, you've got to really, really niche it. And that's the thing. So it's a marketing community, but it's very niche.
Let's actually ask the big question. What is the difference between a community and a tribe? And I'm not going to give you my bias, but I'm going to tell you what I found. Tribes are passion from the leaders and the followers. Communities are gathering places. Most online tribes come from communities, but not everybody in the community will be a tribe member.
I'm a big fan of community. I'm not a big fan of tribe. For me, tribe is about everybody looking up and following one person, and that for me is quite negative. Whereas a community for me is people collaborating, working together, supporting one another, and getting mutual benefit out of mutual relationships. And that for me is much more powerful when it comes to a marketing concept. When I see people chasing influencers, for instance, that for me is the tribe psychology. If I get in with the right group, if I get in with the right in-crowd, they're going to promote me and I'm going to succeed. And that's looking up and chasing, whereas community for me is looking down and lifting them up, level with you or even higher. And that for me is really valuable.
How do you go about actually managing that? Because you still do have to manage it, right?
We've got a very strong family-friendly policy. And the other thing is make sure people have an outlet. Sometimes communities can be too restrictive. For instance, in our community, if you want to promote your course, there's a section where you go and promote your course. So give people an outlet in the community to do the things they're naturally going to do. As soon as you try and stop people doing the things they're naturally going to want to do, they're going to be restricted and they're going to fight the community. Give people a natural outlet within the accepted behavior standards of the community. Don't stop people doing too much.
I look at a tribe a little bit more like a network, where I might be part of a tribe that has a common mission of supporting the business owners in that tribe.
When Jessica was just talking about tribe, she described a different view of a tribe than what I had. So she had a different mental image of a tribe. So I think that's sometimes why it's difficult to communicate about issues like tribe and community, because the definitions can vary so much.
Someone has said that the definition of a healthy community is that whoever set up can walk away and that community is still going to exist and do things together. That would be the opposite of a tribe, I'd imagine.
In the early days, the leader has to stimulate the community, but a good community over time will start gaining its own mass as more and more people come in. There's reasons why they do that, and if we understand those reasons, why people will contribute in a community building actually becomes much more powerful.
What I'm hearing you're saying, Mark, is that tribes might have a leader, but its communities have a facilitator. And then maybe there's a third group of people. You've talked about when you have an initiative, try and get 20 people who will be able to rally to your defense in whatever it is that you're trying to promote on social media, that they will be there for you and that they'll promote it, and then it's kind of concentric circles. Those 20 people that you talked about, that's not a tribe? And if not a tribe, what is it?
I'll change it slightly and say, get out of the 12 people. It's about what can you do to the 12 core people? What can you do for them? How can you help promote them? How can you lead them to somewhere successful? And then they can contribute back.
There still is a leader. There always is a leader. And you're a great one, by the way.
There you go, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. And but I'm looking at large companies. I think that they've got both that really make that brand coexist, and people show up the way they want to show. They want to innovate around it. They want to contribute and teach around it. They want to be part of the movement and go to a store or an event where one of these brands are at. Shopping malls where an Apple store is actually lifts sales of every other store in the mall by 10%, just because they're there.
Jessica made a really good point. I just wanted to point out what she was talking with the Apple thing. What I've seen in a lot of Google Plus communities is as soon as somebody else comes in, the leader can be threatened. And then rather than let that person start expressing themselves and benefiting from the community, you can get shut down very quickly. And I think if the more people you bring in that have got influence, that have got a passion, the better for the community, because now you're going to get a lot more strength in that community. And I think that comes back to the idea of tribe and community again, to be honest.
What's the advantage to you as a business person on creating a community?
It's not just about you're doing something for everybody and you're not getting anything out of it yourself, because there is thing in there. You know, I'm getting traffic to my courses, people are taking my courses, appreciating what I've got to say, and they're choosing in that instance whether or not to buy my product. So I'm gaining from the community.
How much sharing between community members are there?
There's always a core, and that's the thing most people don't realize. With a good community, there's probably a core of 10 to 20 people that actually drive the community. Once you've got that core of 10 to 20, then you'll start to see, and you'll soon figure out who they are. You'll start to see that thing. So one of the things for me is encouraging people to actually collaborate together, to work on Hangouts and to work on different things. And once that gets going and that gets stimulated, then it grows.
This idea of a community is a sterling idea, but my God, the time that's involved in it. Do you sleep?
I'm in England, and I need people moderating outside of those times. But we've had very few issues, and the reason we've had very few issues is because our rules are very, very clear. That's really, really important that people understand that. And the other thing is it's a public community. You have to join up to get in.
Could you give us maybe 3 or so things that you think is absolutely necessary to start off to create a good, successful community?
1, niche community. Got to be niche. Number 2, everyone in the community has a chance to gain from the community. Number 3, make sure you promote members' activities. When someone shares a blog post, comment, read it, take time, engage with people, promote them. That was free, but I want to give you one more. Hangouts on air are the engine of a good community. And that's what makes Google Plus so very, very special.
Kudos to you for doing such a great job, and again, thanks for joining us. Do you want to leave us with any last words?
If you want to grow a community, grow it by helping others. That's the secret to a community. And make sure you've got the tools in place to do that.
Thanks, everybody. I much appreciate it every week. I much appreciate seeing you. Take care. Bye-bye until next week. Bye-bye.